There's still space for your business to thrive in social media today, and we're going to talk about 3 content strategy frameworks that you can employ to ensure that you're reaping all the benefits. In today's world, social media can be so overwhelming. It can feel like such a challenge trying to break through in your niche because let's face it, everybody and their mother is on social media today. The content that are tailored for reach isn't necessarily the same type of content that is best for generating conversion. So, for example, the type of content that I would recommend for you to go viral is gonna be slightly different or even greatly different from the content that I would recommend you employ when you're trying to bolster conversions among your customers and among your audience. I am beginning to see a clear pattern that I think business owners need to become more intentional about employing in their social media strategy. So let's get right into the first one. Let's just call it the content creator business brand. All right. And essentially what this means is, you know how we have content creators in today's world, sometimes we call them influencers. I want you to start thinking about your business's brand on Instagram and on TikTok as a content creator brand. And the reason why is because not only are these platforms consistently producing tools and features that are to enhance creator brands. Alongside that, if you start to think of your business as a creator brand, you'll start to create content that feels like it's coming from a creator. One of the things I've noticed over the years is that businesses tend to be very stoic and serious on social media because they are thinking about their reputation. And depending on the nature of your business and the industry that you're in, there are definitely different layers and tiers that you have to essentially employ when it comes on to how you represent yourself or you represent the business online. And I totally get that. But I promise you, in today's world of going viral and bolstering reach and getting people to share your content, as a business, you need to start treating your brand as a content creator. This means you're going to look at all the trends, all the funny things, all the relatable slangs, all the memes, and you're going to start employing that within your content strategy. Now, I'm not telling you that you need to always be going on social media and dancing to the next best thing and looking like an absolute idiot, to put it simply. I'm just saying that you need to start becoming more relatable and less stoic in how you represent the brand on Instagram and on TikTok. When it comes on to going viral, when it comes on to having reach and being able to employ such reach in a timely manner, your best bet is starting to become more relatable. Start thinking about your ideal client once again. What does that persona look like? What are some things that they're struggling with that you could make a light-hearted joke about or a light-hearted statement about alongside content pieces that they will actually be able to relate to. For example, there is a plastic surgery company here in Jamaica. I promise you guys, I don't even know their name. However, I am very, very familiar with the type of content they tend to employ across their social media platforms, both on TikTok and on Instagram. And one of their top surgeons, I believe he's also the owner, is the face of the brand. And if you scroll right across their profile, you're going to see a mix of him being silly, making jokes about BBLs, about plastic surgery, about the money to fund the plastic surgery, all the different things that someone who is interested in getting plastic surgery or is thinking about getting plastic surgery would be able to relate to. But the purposes of this type of content is not just only to, let's say, convert sales, but more so it's because they're trying to expand their reach. So they want to let as much person know about them as possible. And when you take this approach, not only is it funny and it's allowing the viewer to have a good time by getting immersed in the content, but it also encourages them to share it with their own audiences or repost it as a lighthearted joke. And the more you can get people to do that, naturally is the more reach you're going to be obtaining for your business, and of course the more followers you'll have, because now people are experiencing the creator side of your business. It's almost like you're allowing your brand to evolve into its own content creator. Now let's move on to the second content strategy framework, and this time we're going to talk all about employing storytelling in how you produce your content. Now, if you've never heard this before, storytelling is literally just as it sounds. It's the art of telling a story through the content with which you are publishing across social media, in this case Instagram or TikTok, which most likely would probably be through a short form video or a carousel post. And like any good story, you want to ensure that you start with an introduction, then you introduce the problem, and you end with a resolution. In this case, the introduction is going to be you, the business owner, or the name of the business, what the business is about, how we got here. In the how we got here stage could be how you segue into what the conflict is. So the conflict is the problem with which your business solve and is currently addressing, and that other persons can find relatable. Next, you want to move into the resolution stage, and this is where you start talking about how your business solved this problem for your ideal clients, essentially. And for this one, I'm actually gonna allow this video to be played throughout this video so you can get a good sense of what I meant by one of my favorite content creators and now business owners, Vanessa Law.
This is me 4 years ago, just a cute little burnt out girl boss slowly getting fat from all the cafes and bubble tea. And this is my husband Leon, an Amazon FBA bro selling plant pots online. Even though we were successful, we were both getting sick of the hustle. No, like literally sick. While I was out there trying to get internet famous, Leon was fighting off some serious Amazon competition. We both enjoyed working, but we hated the feeling of chronic stress, bloat, and anxiety. It was cute, but not cute. We thought we were cooked. But what if we weren't? What if there was something that could give us the focus of coffee and the comfort of bubble tea? Something clean that had lion's mane for brain fog, reishi for stress, and maca for sustained energy. And with authentic Asian flavors like classic milk tea, roasted oolong, and matcha. And then it came to life. Super boba. After months of formulating, we made a couple of videos and found out a lot of people were looking for the same thing, because in a blink of an eye, we secured over 450 pre-orders. Fast forward today, we're now working on expanding our tea line. We've also helped thousands of people ditch their coffee crashes for sustained energy and built a community of milk tea lovers who don't have to choose between taste and health.
As you can see, Vanessa definitely started off by employing who she was, who her husband was, how she got the idea of starting Super Boba, what that process has been like, and the ideal problem that she's solving. And she gave you a comprehensive roundup, essentially, of what the business is all about and kind of took you along a journey. This is definitely a great example of employing the storytelling approach. You don't have to have every single piece of content formatted in this way, but I have seen where a number of businesses have employed it, and it just really allow you as the viewer, as the prospective client or customer, to feel more connected to the brand because now it's attributed to someone. It's also a great way, if you are the face of your brand, to leverage your personal brand towards the business and make that connection. With the storytelling approach, your personal experience is what is creating that unique selling point for the viewer, for the prospective customer who is absorbing that piece of content. So you want to ensure that it's comprehensive enough and it also is emotionally driven enough that it can form that connection. My final content strategy framework for this video actually is going to employ utilizing micro influencers to create content for you. Now, some persons can call them micro influencers, or they can be user generated content creators, meaning just content creators who create content for you. Either way, I personally loop them under the same as micro influencers. Now, they're called micro because they're on the smaller end when it comes on to the number of followers that are in their audiences. But micro influencers, especially for small businesses, are quite literally a game changing opportunity to put it that way, because I felt weird saying thing or tactic because micro influencers are people, but you guys get what I'm trying to say. They are a great way to really bolster the reach of your business, especially if these micro influencers are very niched influencers. The thing is, when you're going to employ influencers in your business, your return on investment is very important. So the more you can have your business align with a micro influencer who is very niche focused, is the better you will be assured that your content is being exposed to the right audience, the qualified audience, not just the audience that are just there for the numbers. And in this video, I know we're talking about reach and not necessarily sales conversions, but if you're a small business, then there's a good chance you may not be able to can employ a larger influencer just for the sake of reach. So in that instance, I would recommend definitely leaning into a micro influencer to both create that content and share that content on their page. You can even work alongside a micro influencer as their own brand is growing. So for example, if you are in, I don't know, the apparel industry, and you found a fashion-based micro influencer who's really gaining traction, you can try to strike a deal with that person, you know, try to encourage them to come on board as a brand ambassador and grow alongside that micro influencer as they are growing. And so that in turn will also help to give your business constant exposure to that person's audience, and that will in turn help to bolster your reach. You just have to be very strategic with how you make that type of agreement. And there you have it. These are 3 content strategy tactics that business owners can employ in order to grow their reach on Instagram and TikTok. I want to remind you that it's important to definitely audit where you are. You're definitely gonna need to be making some form of investment in order to stay top of mind when it comes on to quality, when it comes on to just general knowledge of maneuvering the social media landscape. But if there's any tip I want to say that you definitely should hold on to out of all the tips that I've shared, is definitely the first one, which is becoming the content creator brand. Thinking of your business account as if the business itself is a content creator, and try to approach content in that way in order to simply stay relevant and entertaining enough that it will encourage someone to want to share it with their audience. Once again, I'm not saying you need to be dancing around the place and posting all memes. I'm just saying ensure that when you post something, it's something that someone else can be emotionally connected to. And there you have it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, I encourage you to check out this new video so you can continue to grow your knowledge in the content creation world. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.